Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It is Wednesday. It is Halloween Eve. Thank you for being here this October 30th. No major changes, sad to report, to your Halloween forecast, but we do have some more specific timing, and I'm going to cross my fingers in hopes that maybe the bulk of the showers might start to at least lighten up by the time trick or treat is set to begin tomorrow evening. We'll outline that in more detail in just a few moments. Headlines tonight will include a former nurse from Salyersville sentenced to federal prison earlier today for tampering with patients' medication. Also, hundreds of thousands of dollars in, to some degree, surprise discretionary funds brought from the governor's office to the McGoffin County Fiscal Court just moments ago. I'll have that footage, at least in part, for you in just a few moments, with the judge telling us where they're going to spend that money and on what county roads and how the money came to be received here in McGoffin County. And a whole lot of other news and information. We'll get to that quickly. I'm going to do things a bit reverse as I usually do on Wednesdays, and now I'll talk about what you can read in tomorrow's very full edition of the Salyersville Independent. One of the top stories in tomorrow's paper will center around the ambulance service, Lifeguard, which of course acquired Transtar here in McGoffin County back earlier this year. McGoffin County Judge Executive is pushing for answers after receiving reports, as have we, of excessive wait times, which I've addressed a couple of times here in the program, but wait times for ambulances with Lifeguard and the repeated need for having to have ambulances come from other counties to serve McGoffin County citizens in times of emergency and other situations. As a part of the report, I can tell you that the Salyersville Independent did request logs from McGoffin County 911 to show when those types of situations happened. We confirmed that there were two in the month of April, which was roughly when Lifeguard acquired the ambulance service, that there was not an ambulance available in the county at all, and one had to be brought in from another service in another county. There were three situations in May, one taking about 2 hours for an ambulance to arrive. There was one in June, 3 in July, 6 in September, 4 of which happening in a 3-day span. And at the time that this particular report was initially started, there had been 4 within a 5-day span here on October. That ran us up through the 15th. However, there have been 9 more occurrences of that happening just since the 15th of October. So it's a total of 13 for this month. Now, in an effort to try to find the problem, the situation, and define it, we have spoken to the Judge Executive. Our editor, Heather Oney, spoke as well to representatives of Lifeguard, as well as the Executive Director of the Kentucky Board of Emergency Services. That report is in the paper tomorrow. Please make it a must-read. Also, a story penned about Randall Reisner, who sadly, of course, has passed away. Services to be announced in his honor on the funeral services in just a few moments. More on our North Korean soldier coming home. Of course, McGoffin County, Salyersville native who lost his life in the Korean War. Robert Conway running for Commission of Agriculture. Mike Harmon stopping by the independent offices. The sample ballot for next week's November 5th election. More on the Walnut Festival. And the list indeed does go on. It's pages long. That's just the headlines, not the stories, for tomorrow's edition. We hope you pick one up just as soon as possible or get a subscription by calling the independent office. We'll get to tonight's headlines here in the program right after these words. At Salyersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Salyersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Salyersville National. going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. And all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles. But hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville.
After years of politics as usual, we now have an auditor that follows the data. Mike Harmon. Endorsed by Kentucky Right to Life, the NRA, and the Fraternal Order of Police, he's taken politics out of the office. Mike called out the state's pension systems for their lack of transparency, and Mike Harmon audited the CLEP Fund to ensure law enforcement and their families get the money they deserve. On November 5th, follow the data and vote for the best choice. Mike Harmon for auditor.
We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dipped breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it, and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Sayersville Lee's famous recipe, where even our ice is famous. A McGoffin County former nurse, has been sentenced to 24 months in federal prison earlier today for tampering with hospital medication while serving in her capacity as a nurse at an area medical facility. Kelsey Spencer, 25, was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison by United States District Judge Robert Weir yesterday afternoon, following her conviction for tampering with a controlled substance. According to Spencer's plea agreement, while she was employed as a nurse at the Palby Hall Regional Medical Center, she took vials of Stadol from a drug supply area in the hospital and kept them for her own personal use. She actually then injected a saline solution, essentially water, back into those vials in order to conceal her criminal activity and that she was stealing the drugs. In her plea agreement, she acknowledged that she acted with reckless disregard for the risk that another person would have been placed in regards to danger or death or bodily injury if healthcare personnel had used those altered drugs on a patient that actually needed them. After initially pleading not guilty, After initially pleading not guilty to the federal charges, Spencer later changed her plea to guilty back in July. Under federal law, she must now serve at least 85% of her 24-month prison sentence, and she has also been ordered to stay under the supervision of the United States Probation and Parole Office for a period of 3 years thereafter. Initially facing a 2-count indictment in the case, the court accepted Spencer's guilty plea and found her guilty on count 1 of the indictment that related to tampering with a consumer product, and agreed to dismiss the remaining count 2 of the indictment at the time of sentencing, which accused her of making false statements to federal agents when she lied about knowing how to use the dispensary that distributed those drugs, which she had used or had use or knowledge of over 1,400 times, said authorities. Spencer was permitted to remain on bond pending sentencing, with the court imposing additional conditions of release, including home detention and regular drug testing, plus blocking employment with any access to controlled substances. But it does appear as though she violated at least one of those terms and conditions, with the docket entry from yesterday's court proceedings saying that the court found that she violated her release conditions, considering the violation in formulating an appropriate sentence, the violation pertaining to an unknown substance use. Spencer was taken into custody immediately following the court proceeding yesterday and remanded to the custody of the United States Marshal and lodged at this time in the Pike County Detention Center before her transfer to another facility. Before I get to your calendar, which starts off with an anniversary and I think a couple of birthday wishes, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the 3rd consecutive time today, but did not give any indicator as to whether or not it will continue that path. The Federal Open Market Committee today voted to reduce the benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points to a target range between 1.5 to 1.75%. The FOMC statement justified the need for another cut by pointing to business fixed investment and exports that appear to remain weak at this time. The Fed says it's going to, for now, continue to monitor implications of upcoming information for the economic outlook in considering whatever its future moves will be. Just over 30%, which is just a percent over last year. So sad. A third or less of the Kentucky's voters actually get out to vote. That's what's expected right now for the November 5th election. Next Tuesday, those who will actually get out and exercise their right to vote in Kentucky. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes said today that she is predicting about 1 million voters, or 31% of the state's 3.5 million registered voters, to turn out at the polls next week. We encourage everyone, please, get out and vote. Here's tonight's community calendar, and yeah, it starts off with a couple of very special anniversaries and birthday wishes, all brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Let's see, we've got a bunch of special announcements tonight. We'll begin with a special anniversary wish, 62 years and counting as of today. From Joe to Elma, and then one from Elma to Joe, and then from the kids to Joe and Elma, and from a whole lot of family and friends as well. Everyone join us in wishing Joe and Elma, Carol, obviously, a very happy 62nd anniversary today. Happy anniversary to you both. And speaking of best wishes for a couple of people, I've got a couple of more we want to say happy birthday to tonight. Now, if I'm getting this correct, and I think I am, Paul and Mamie Francis both celebrating their birthdays. Mamie did so last week on Wednesday, turning 80. Paul turning 81 today. With a lot of love from best wishes from Debbie and Connie and Daryl and Paula and a lot of friends and family and loved ones too. Happy 80th and 81st to Mamie and Paul Francis. Happy, happy birthday to you both. And one last birthday wish to a young Hayden Sloan tonight. Celebrating with a lot of love for mom and dad, aunts, uncles, family, and friends. Happy birthday, Hayden Sloan. And going on to our calendar, just a couple of quick reminders for you. Don't forget the McGoffin County Head Start is thinking ahead, and if you want to get your child a Head Start, they are taking applications for Head Start right now for the next school year. If your child will be 3 or 4 years of age by August the 1st, come by or call the Head Start office at 349-3488. It's about over. That's Halloween and your chance to visit the Gardner Farm for the lights, decorations, and all the Halloween things they have to see. And you won't be able to see it long because they're going to start working on their Christmas decorations probably Friday, knowing Ben and whoever it is that helps Ben get all those lights up. Also, Halloween, of course, tomorrow, and of course the rain I know is going to really put a damper on it, pardon the pun, but the McGoffin County Health Department is a great indoor event, 8:30 to 3. Bring the kids by for their tricks, their treats, the carnival games, the haunted house tour, and more. Bring a big treat bag. You will need it. McGoffin County Health Department, of course, we will be treating here at Sagersville Independent and Your News Today offices for all the kids who make it through downtown tomorrow morning and through the afternoon, so be sure and stop by and see us as well. The 6th Annual Veterans Appreciation Lunch, sponsored by the Appalachian Hospice Care Veterans Committee, is coming up tomorrow as well, 11 to 2, your last reminder at the Stumbo Wilkinson Center at Jenny Wiley State Park. And if you've got an announcement you want everyone to know about it, you just need to tell me so I can tell them. And turning to funeral service announcements this Wednesday, it is with absolutely the heaviest of hearts we announce the passing of a dear friend and neighbor and much more. Henry Joseph, 78 of Dixie Avenue, who passed away last night at his home. I've had the privilege of knowing Henry for a long time, and never, not a single time in my life, can I ever recall speaking with him or just passing him on the street that he didn't have that smile and that laugh and was just always a delight to be around. He leaves behind, of course, a number of friends and family, as well as his DAV family, for which he was very proud to be commander and serve in other capacities. 78-year-old Henry Joseph was married to Brenda Joseph, who survives, as well as he is survived by his daughters Paula Mann Flora and Augusta Mann Helton. Visitation has been set for this Friday after 5 at the Sagersville First Baptist Church, where Masonic rites will be held at 7 on Friday evening. Services will be at the church the following day, Saturday, beginning at 1, with military services to be held by, of course, DAV chapter 15 on the day of services. Henry will be laid to rest at the Joseph Cemetery on Mason.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
Whether it's diabetes, arthritis, or injury causing you foot and ankle problems, or excruciating pain in your heel that's often easily treatable, Dr. Cheryl Cheney has over 21 years in group and private practice as one of the region's leading podiatrists, and she's now practicing right here in Sagersville. Dr. Cheryl Stalder Cheney is now seeing new patients, young and old, at Hope Family Podiatry Center in Sagersville, just next to the Lee's Famous Recipe. Call for an appointment today. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 349-8785.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down, and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville. Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. Well, this is literally hot off of the presses. I knew that the meeting time was during a rough time, given the fact that it's my time to start producing the show and press day for the Sagersville Independent. But we wanted to make sure we got this news out there this evening. It is good news. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of good news. I do have a quick edit that's been put on the video. A representative from the governor's office came to Sagersville in the Magoffin County Fiscal Court just moments ago, where he, at the request of Magoffin County Judge Executive Matt Wireman and State Representative John Blanton, was able to provide nearly $350,000 in discretionary road funds or discretionary funds that our local officials say will go a long way toward fixing some really rough Magoffin County roads. Here's a portion of that meeting and the interviews that we were able to get following.
You submitted a discretionary request, and the discretionary request is different but from your county road aid on that. It's funds allocated by the legislature for the transportation cabinet to disseminate projects. So you requested, do you know how many projects you did request?
6.
6? Well, Governor Bevan approved all 6 of them. $345,080 on that. But you know, the governor's told me, he made it clear to me when he appointed me to this position, that not to be partisan with our infrastructure. You know, at the end of the day, blacktop's black. It's not red or blue. It's not, we don't Democrat or Republican roads. We have Kentucky roads for Kentucky people.
There's 345,000. You divide it in 3 districts, that's around 100,000 apiece. In one district, we got 3 little short roads that we're going to do. In the one district, we got a long stretch of road, and another one we got a long one and a piece of one. Right. So we spread this all across McGoffin County, and the request I could have requested 10 million, and it would have all my roads fixed like I need. But based on historically what I'd seen as far as the amounts that have been given out, somewhere in the 300,000 range seemed to be appropriate, and that's why we requested that. And I'm tickled to death that you approved all of it.
I've been working with Judge Wireman about submitting an application for this, and once he submitted the application about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from the governor's office asking about the need here in this area, and I explained the need we have and how that I was instrumental in working with the judge to apply for this. And the governor's very cautious about how he spends his discretionary funds, because it is at his discretion how these get spent. And after our conversation, he was very gracious to send $350,000 to us here in McGoffin County to blacktops of county roads that are in dire need of some repairs. And so this will cover about, on average, 2 roads per magisterial district. So really appreciative of Governor Bevin. He didn't have to do that, but that's the way he is. He works across party lines to ensure that the people get the projects and the monies they need, and we're very fortunate that he chose us as one of the counties to receive this discretionary funding for this road here, these roads here in McGoffin County.
We've got multiple roads that we could have asked for, but we wanted stretches of road that would hopefully deal with the most amount of people, and or that were just in such disrepair that they had to be worked on. In District 1, the road that'll be funded will be about 9/10 of a mile on the left-hand fork of Johnson, from the start of it all the way up. That way everybody on that fork of the road will be having access. The District 2 is Short Fork, Cottle Branch, and Lower Wheeler Road. In District 3, it'll be the blacktop portion of Long Creek, and from the bridge at the head of Punchin, which is called Meredith, up to the forks, where it forks with what they call Jake Fork. And those total up to $345,000. If you look at each magisterial district, somewhere plus or minus $100,000 apiece, because the total was $345,000. Like I said, we tried to be equitable about it and try to affect the most homes and the worst roads that we could.
A quick announcement in sports tonight. The McGoffin County High School and Athletic Department has set maroon and white night. The shootout's going to be Friday, November 22 at 6 o'clock. I have plenty of time to remind you, but thought you might want to know. Friday the 22nd. And if you're wanting to know, especially for all the kids out there, just how bad it might be tomorrow for trick-or-treat, well, here's your updated weather forecast, which still has us looking at, I think, about a total rainfall amount of an inch over the course of tomorrow, following what has been light rains today. There is a chance, as I'll allude to in just a few moments, I'm not going out on a limb saying it will happen or it will not, but there's a chance that the showers might at least start to lessen or become a little more sparse, maybe by the time trick-or-treat begins, maybe closer to the time it ends. We'll have to wait and see, but right now, here's your latest outlook from the National Weather Service and Licking Valley, RECC. With that in mind, here's how the rest of your outlook, Halloween forecast, and that for the first weekend in November, well, how it's all shaking down. We have tonight showers. We're going to see some breaks in the shower activity between now and this time tomorrow and thereafter, with the showers kind of taking a lull mainly before 9 o'clock. They will be winding down as they are now. We haven't seen any really outside the newsroom for maybe an hour or an hour and a half or so. But a low of 61 tonight. Yes, 61. So definitely some warmer air coming in behind this front, or out ahead of it, I guess I should say. Not behind it, obviously. With a southeasterly wind 3 to 6 miles per hour. shower. Today or this evening, another quarter to a half inch of rain altogether for some of us. Showers tomorrow. Here's the timing for your Halloween Thursday, October 31st. Showers before noon, and then showers and possibly thunderstorms between noon and 3. Noon and 3 being the time when we might see some thunderstorms. Showers on both sides of that time frame, before 3 and after 3, to the tune of 100%. We will see temperatures soar to about 70 by 11 o'clock in the morning, and then they're going to fall and head the other direction until they bottom out for daytime highs thereafter at around 52 the remainder of the day. And once again, winds out of the south 8 to 14, up to 28 mile per hour gusts on and off throughout the day. Showers likely mainly before 8 tomorrow night, which is not great timing considering that's about the time that trick-or-treat's going to wrap up. There is a good chance, I think, that the showers will wind down a bit early, and the streets might just be wet, and some wet leaves to trample on in some yards, but I'm hopeful that there's at least a chance it might not be a downpour or maybe any rain falling during trick-or-treat. We're obviously going to have to wait and see. Up to an inch of rainfall is possible for some folks over the course of your Halloween tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now, that will take us over into Friday with winds still breezy, upwards of 20-25, Thursday night, mind you. But Friday, the cold air comes in behind the front, and you will know it. Patchy frost before 9 o'clock Friday, partly sunny, becoming completely sunny skies, 48 degrees, a light wind out of the west at 3 to 7 on your Friday morning and afternoon. Friday night, we'll see about 30 under mostly clear skies. That means more frost. Friday night and into your Saturday. Saturday, that frost will be followed by sunshine. Temperatures topping out right around 52. Frost Saturday night, a low of 28 degrees as we get firmly down into the 20s, we do believe, on Saturday night. A lot of folks have a freeze warning in place. We do not in the viewing area at this time, but 28 degrees. And that might change. We'll keep you updated. Sunday, frost to start. Sun in the middle, 48 degrees. Sunday night, 29, mostly clear, back down to the 20s. Monday, frost, sunny, 57. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 61. Wednesday, I'm thinking we might see the low 60s and more sunshine as well. And, of course, do not forget, I know the extra hour of sleep is enticing, but, man, it's going to be dark so early. It's time to roll those clock backs an hour. Saturday night to into Sunday morning. When you lay down, you'll wake up Sunday, get a little more rest, but you'll have a little less daylight to get anything done. That's it. That's my time. We hope to see you tomorrow after what I hope is going to be a wonderful day of treating kids as they stop by the Sagersville Independent and Your News Today studios as they make their way through Sagersville, if it's not just a terribly, terribly windy, rainy day. We'll wait and see. An early happy Halloween to you, and thank you for watching.